Never to be played again. I mean, Devil May Cry 5 exists. So yeah, like, this was like a stream thing. um, and again, I wouldn't go so far as to say like the gameplay isn't worth because Definitive Edition fixed a lot of issues, for sure. But hmm, we have Devil May Cry 4 and 5, and it's just like, well, kinda don't need to come back here. Thanks, Barter, for DMC5. Right? Right? Happy to sit through the whole thing. Yeah, it is an experience. It's an experience, to say the least. They could have cut the last stages into smaller sections to help improve the overall flow and pacing. Yeah, yeah, they could have, for sure. One of Ninja Theory's better works. Hmm, yeah. Although, I think that's a bit iffy in regards to what that says. So, you know, debatable on that. Creator dashboard. We'll do this. Let's see. Who's doing what currently? No, I'm just curious about who's doing what, just in case. We can raid in a little bit. Um, just figured I would look ahead of time. Hmm. Yeah, gonna make dinner in a bit. Thanks for streaming. Yeah, it's no problem. Not a problem at all. So, alright. So I said I had some things to be said about Beyblade, right? Like, the original season in particular, right? First of all, who remembers? Like, did anyone watch it besides me? Like, let me put that out there before I start talking. Like, did anybody in chat actually watch like the original season of Beyblade? You said sadly you did. It was good. Didn't get to watch very much of it. It's like Beyblade gets a bad rep because everybody looks at it and they're thinking, "Oh, it's spinning tops. It's silly, blah blah." But story is worth, characters are worth, right? And one of the most interesting things I find about Beyblade in particular is that the characters in Beyblade, like the main character, whether it's the main characters or the other characters that aren't just throwaway characters, you can pretty much liken each of those characters to like an aspect of like a particular archetype within the fighting game community. And I know that sounds weird. I know that sounds weird, but like here, let's line a couple of things up, right? Um the main character, Tyson. Tyson Granger. That kid is your resident trash talker. He is your resident trash talker. He will quite literally talk you out of your game. He will talk you out of your element. He has done this on more than one occasion. He has 100% done this on more than one occasion. He has faced opponents that he knows, even he knows, he should not be able to defeat. And he's literally talked them out of their winning strategy. And like, you know, shook them out of their game and then proceeded to defeat them. In the FGC, there are people like that. That's the weird thing. Like, you say it's nice, right? But the thing is, most of the time, he wins his fights via like main character plot armor. Like, he'll end up getting into a fight that like he's outmatched in, and then he'll bend the rules in some kind of way, but it's supposed to be like some kind of heroic comeback, or it's just straight up a heroic comeback, and they go from there. But again, there are a couple of occasions where he ends up like, there's like 3, maybe 4 occasions where he ends up going against someone, and there's absolutely no way he should be able to beat them. Everyone, himself included, they're just like, no, he's outclassed. Tyson's outclassed here. But then there's some sort of element to them that lets Tyson actively talk them out of what would be a winning strategy. There's this one guy named Garland. Garland's entire character focuses around the fact that his whole family is nothing but winners. They are winners at everything that they do, whether it's sports, politics, Beyblading, whatever. They're all really good. They do nothing but win. It's to the point where they have a book, like a tome, that actually dictates how their family should go about attaining success in their life. And Garland follows these precepts to the letter. And he has won against almost everyone. There is only one person that Garland ever lost to when it came to Beyblading, and that one person that he lost to is on his team. So then he goes against Tyson, and Tyson, you know, sees that Garland is actually a very talented Beyblader and everything, but Garland's like always carrying his family's book around with him. And Tyson recognizes that, like, yes, he's undeniably skilled, but he's following his family's precepts. To Tyson, main character.exe, he's not going against Garland, he's going against this book that is dictating his life. So that's what he yells at Garland about. He's like basically telling him, like, put the book down, basically. Like, I'm not fighting you, I'm fighting the book. And I'm like, yes. Like, he's winning. He's winning consistently. There's no reason for him to change his strategy. It's not against the rules. for him to follow his family's creed, you know? So it's like, what are you doing? What are you actually doing? But Garland listens to this. He gets taken in by Tyson's talk about being a quote unquote pure Beyblader, doing it for the sport, etc., etc. And then he goes against Tyson without following his family's precepts and everything, and he loses. And I'm like, you let Tyson talk you out of your game. And then later on down the line, the one person that's in Garland's team that's actually beaten Garland before, this guy named Brooklyn. Brooklyn, like, there was absolutely zero reason whatsoever Tyson should have beaten Brooklyn. Not because of his ability as a Beyblader alone, because that already eclipsed Tyson as it was. But then Brooklyn actually developed literally, like, literal psychic powers, like world bending psychic abilities. He was able to actively change reality around him and dictate the rules on whatever plane he had created. And it's like Tyson literally shouldn't have been able to beat him. But again, he talks Brooklyn down, talks to him about, like, the passion of the sport and the rules of the game and how he should play according to the rules and just for the passion of the sport, and all of this, all these powers and this destruction isn't something that he needs, etc., etc. And again, Brooklyn gets swindled into playing against Tyson at his level, and Tyson beats him. And I'm just like, how many people? Like, he's done this to like 4 people, but like, it's pretty big. It's pretty big. Like, it's to the point where you can actually take that and liken it to people in the FGC, like I said before, right? Where you'll have people that, yes, they're skilled, but by and large, they can talk you out of your game. They can trash talk you, get under your skin, unsettle you, throw you away from whatever your mindset was coming in, and then roll right over you. There are people that have made literal personalities about that, right? And that's actually nutty to think about. Let's see. One of Tyson's teammates, Max Tate slash Max Mizuhara. Um, he is more or less, yeah. Tyson's the LTG personality, except not as toxic, not as toxic. But Max is more or less your consistent, like, player type, that he's there, he's reliable because of what he does and how he does it. He knows how to change up his play style, but he won't do it unless it's an absolute necessity. But the thing is, he's so effective at how he does it that it makes him one of the, like, top players around. Despite, like, people constantly questioning how he does what he does and saying that he needs to change his ways. It's like, if he needs to change his ways, why is he producing results? So there's that. Also, Max is also one of the sorts where you can 100% like see him being the type to learn about new tech, and then, utilize that tech when it's really necessary. He won't blow his loop too fast. Ah, Red Nova, how's it going? You are catching us at the chat portion of the stream. You have missed the whole game. Whole game's over with. um, but yeah, Max has quite literally saved his entire team because they were up against an opponent that they would not have been able to defeat. And he found out about like some new technology that people could be working on, and to improve their Beyblades and stuff like that. And he had his mother like work on this, and she gave him a souped up Beyblade, and he came in with this new tech. And it's like, oh, all right, cool. Like, this works. Let's see, you're doing good. You just finished hosting a Power Rangers beginner's tourney. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hopefully, those people in that tourney like stick with it. Battle for the Grid's a good game. Battle for the Grid is very fun. So, yeah, hopefully they stick with it. Let's see. The other two team members, Ray and Kai. Let's see. Yeah, it's to encourage newer players to keep improving. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. Let's see. Ray and Kai, right? Ray is the focused sort of player in the FGC. Nothing you say or do, right? That's the kind of player you can liken Ray from Beyblade to. Nothing you say or do is going to shake Ray and his focus. He's the sort of player where if you come in and you make any mistakes, he is going to crush you. You have to be on your A game 100% of the time, and any mistakes that he makes, you better capitalize, because if you don't, he will make you pay for it later. And it's like that pretty much sums him up in a nutshell. There's not too many layers to that, because that's kind of how he functions through the whole series. And then there's Kai. Kai is the Daigo of Beyblade, where he is just pure ability, right? Absolute skill, undeniable. You are not going to get through anything Kai has going on with any kind of weird trickery, because he's seen so much, he's experienced so much, and he's just way too skilled for a lot of stuff. And if he takes an L, it's a sign that the person that he's going against is exceptionally skilled. There's absolutely zero reason, like, other than that. You're not going to beat him with trickery and whatnot. That's super rare. Kai gets cooler with each scarf toss, right? He silenced an entire arena once when he and his team were like, they were about to do a match in a place that they were in an entirely different continent. And Max at the time was not on their team. He was with the United States like All-Stars team. He was their team captain. So like when the team came in, the crowd started booing and like trying to heckle Max and their team. And Kai literally shouted loud enough to be heard by the entire stadium, which massive set of lungs on that kid, firstly. Secondly, he straight up threatened the entire crowd. Said, show respect to our opponents or else. And nobody said a word. Nobody said a word. And it's like, yeah, no. Um, he again, he is just skill, undeniable. And it's just kind of like, well, if anyone beats him, they deserve that W. So it's like everybody's got an archetype that can coincide with what you would expect from the FGC if you really like look at it. And I thought that was like kind of interesting, also kind of funny. So let's see. We finished DMC Devil May Cry today in one sitting. In one sitting, straight up. Uh, Devil May Cry 5 is tomorrow. Should be doing that tomorrow. Yeah. Beyblade is just the FGC, with Dante spinning tops. Pretty much, right? Like, you can break it down like that. It's actually kind of nutty. Um, I may stream something else tomorrow before I get to DMC5. I'm not sure. But as per usual, word will go out. I won't just throw it out there and move on about my day. So if anybody's like actively trying to see DMC5, then yeah, no, there they go. That's it though. You would love to play Battle for the Grid with me sometime. Good luck, firstly. Good luck. Virtua Fighter's coming out, and if the online's good for that, that's where I'm gonna be. I'm putting that one out there into the ether right now. If the online is good for Virtua Fighter, and it sounds like it's going to be, that's where I'm going to be. Let's see, there will be a time for Battle for the Grid at a later date. There will, but again, if the online's good for Virtua Fighter, good luck with that. I will say that 100%. Speaking of Virtua Fighter, like, the day that comes out, I'm going to be streaming that matches with my roommate. That's gonna be like day one. And then after that, like, if I'm streaming Virtua Fighter, I'm either gonna be like labbing or online. And if like, especially if the online's good. If the online's good, that's just what I'll be doing. So it's like, nah, that's where I'll be. Like, I've already had a couple people ask me if you know, if we could play. And I'm like, yeah, no, 100%. I'm more than fine with this. You shall be there with support batons and such. I appreciate that now, Nikki. Made it to the top 16 in your first and only Virtual Fighter tournament you attended. Nice. Nice. Virtual Fighter is out of your realm. I mean, there's people willing to teach, and there's resources to learn. You know, it is it is very much a learnable game. Heck, I'd be willing to teach you some stuff myself. I don't mind. Plus, I mean, it's gonna be free if you got PS Plus. So, no reason to it not, at least try it, right? So, there is that. 3D fighters, and you have not gotten along since you tried Tekken 7. Well, luckily for you, Virtua Fighter is a very different experience compared to Tekken 7. You certainly cannot approach Virtua Fighter like other 3D fighters. It's definitely its own beast. And honestly, I feel like in some ways at least, it's actually easier to grasp than Tekken and some other 3D fighters. So, like, if you wanted to learn as like a thing, like a legitimate thing, like, yeah, no. Like, let me know. I could tell you some stuff. I could point you to people that can help you learn some stuff. Like, stuff is there. Stuff is there for sure. And it's like, feel free 100% if you ever decide. Pie and law are easy to start off with. Yeah. Yeah, they are. They are definitely more entry level friendly, so to speak, if that makes sense. Another one is Kage. Kage is another one who is entry level friendly. You will relearn Sarah. Better bust out your 360/PS3. Sarah's fun. Yeah, Sarah's fun. 100%. She's more fun to watch for me than to play. Seeing a good Sarah is actually nutty. She's crazy. You were the only player to use Sarah at the time you competed. He was iffy for some people. Yeah. Virtua Fighter is a game where you can and will have like just character specialists, right? Like, and it doesn't hurt you to pick a character, stick with them, and learn the game as you learn that character. Like that actually does not hurt you with Virtua Fighter. But that isn't to say don't play who you want to play. Like if you play one character and you feel comfortable with them, but then you eventually decide this other character has some stuff going on that you might actually like when you play them, then I mean by all means, go for it, try to learn. But the key thing first is learning the game. I think that's important to actually like recognize, is that learning the game is the important thing, because even if you learn like your character's moveset and all that, if you don't understand how the game works, it's not really going to serve you well. So Justin Wong used Jackie. Jackie sounds like a Justin Wong character. It's not even about the strength. Jackie's a hype machine. And just understand why, like, it's like mix ups and stuff are a thing too. The feints and everything are mad disrespectful, and he just hurts. Like, regardless of position, he is very capable of hurting you. So it's like that's always a good thing to have, to be able to, convert into huge damage, middle of the stage or by a wall, to be able to lead you towards a wall or whatever else, whatever he needs to do, he can do. Jackie's pretty solid for that. And Jackie is kind of like UMVC 3 Virgil, if that makes sense. I wouldn't quite say that much. Jackie's certainly a utility type of character where he does have solid answers to a lot of things, but if there's one thing that Jackie is kind of hurting in some ways, it's that some of his offense is a bit straightforward. And that can come back to bite him at times. But if you get good at like anticipating what your opponent does and keeping momentum with like various feints and things of that nature, and if you're really good using the blade kick, the one frame blade kick that he has, that can do so much for you, just so much, so many favors in like keeping offense going, and it's crazy. It's crazy to consider. Yes, the IG. The only thing Jackie's not the strongest at is his throw game, and even then can work with it. I mean, other characters outdo him in regards to like, the striking game in some respects. Like I said, he is a bit straightforward in some ways, and that is, not great. But he makes up for it with just being able to mix you up, even on approach, in a lot of ways, or just really make you pay with good sidestep punishes and stuff like that. He can get pretty gross when he doesn't want you to move too much. Can do a lot with IG. Add even more damage to combos. Safe on block, but still high and half circular. Yes. That thing it's a menace. Execution's the thing, though. Execution is something. You gotta get that down. Dinner time. Okay. Take it easy, JoJo, and thank you for tuning in. That is much appreciated. That is very much appreciated. Main Jackie for a good while. Jackie has been my sub. He was my main in Virtua Fighter 4 and 4 Evolution. But then 5 happened and Eileen came. And when Eileen came, Jackie just got shuffled onto the bench. Yep, exactly. To Monkey Girl. Exactly. She came and shuffled him right onto the bench. I'm like, this character is 100% my style. I vibe with this character on a base level. I am all for this. Wolf was your other main in 4 and 4 Evo until 5 and used Jeffrey more often. Freaking Wolf. A wolf who says to be strong is beautiful. Freaking wolf. Let's see. Click. Wolf's another one that I find like really fun to watch, but a bit awkward to play, right? Like, I feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel like if he was a bit quicker as a character, I would click with him a little more. But you don't want, at the same time, like, I 100% understand, you don't want a character like Wolf with some of the stuff he has to be faster than he is. You do not want that. So like, nah, I get it. Use Wolf as a sub in VF4. El Blaze. What about El Blaze? Let's see, yeah, Wolf is super fun too for just throwing people around. Especially when you can get certain throws off. That's always fun. Yeah, it's what it is though. But yeah, um, like I said before, DMC 5 is the plan for tomorrow. That's the plan. Let's see. Also Go and Ally, who can also be grab happy. Go is a grab maniac in some people's hands with all his like repositioning, and he's oh, he is rough. Allie is less about being grab happy and more about being on point with like counters and stuff that she can do in particular situations. Those are important, especially considering she can like transition from some chains into a counter stance and then just sabaki you and push you aside. And it's like, wait, what just happened? You were just swinging at me. VF Hayato was great with Go. Yeah, I remember. I've played VF Hayato. Go is definitely on point. Go's card cancels are bananas. Go in general is bananas. Go is also the only character who can parry a throw, which can be huge. How he is wild with all her cancels, stance switching parries, and all that. Thing that's always thrown me off about Aoi is how she has a counter from literally any given position that you can have, right? Like, she could be laying on her back, she could be laying on her stomach, back turned to you, like, just so many different ways that she can just wrap you up. And for what? It's like suddenly you've had like something broken. It's pretty gross. It's pretty gross. Yeah, the threat alone is something to make you like take a step back because you don't want to just get, something snapped because you decided to make the wrong move, more or less. With Allie, with your design is great because she has to choose and guess to give up pressure or damage for a read that you'll do specific bad guess. Yeah, there is that. There is that, but if it pays off, eesh, eesh. Have you seen some of her counters? It is disgusting. So much grace in how she delivers pain. I can say that. I can definitely say that. Got parried once, lost 30%, and now you have to guess again. Yep. Yep, exactly. Anyway. Yeah, like I said, freaking DMC is over. We're gonna do DMC 5 at some point tomorrow. That is the plan. For now, I'm gonna get out of here because it is literally about to hit midnight in 1 minute. I need food. I need food. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going to probably get some sleep. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. You know, I appreciate you being here. Right, midnight munchies. Yeah, I appreciate you all like being here, hanging out and stuff. I really do. Thank you. And when I go live, everybody will catch a notice from that. So, you know, for now, take it easy and have a good night.